Hello, everyone. One of the interesting things I think about how writers view writing is that very often I will judge the quality of my writing by how I felt when I wrote it, which I think is a mistake. So, for example, sometimes if I'm having trouble at getting a sentence out, if I'm having to rewrite it, or if I'm struggling a lot, or let's say I write a sentence and at first I like it, but then a few minutes later or the next day I change a few words, then I think to myself, well, that must not be a good sentence if I had to spend that much time on it. But here's the thing, the quality of your writing really isn't related to how you felt when you wrote it. Just because you had to work hard to construct a sentence doesn't mean that it's going to be any less valuable than sentences that came out fluently or effortlessly. But I often think as writers, we tend to judge sentences by how we felt at the time and not by the quality of the work objectively as it actually is. Because there are some sentences that I absolutely love that I did not enjoy when I wrote them because of the effort and the rewriting that went into them. But great art isn't always created spontaneously. In some cases, you are going to have to struggle in order to get it right, and in other cases, it will come out spontaneously and fluently, but it won't always be that way. And I also think as writers, we tend to judge our work by the standards of our previous work. So if you've ever written, for example, more than one book, then you know what I'm talking about because you'll write because for example right now the book that I'm currently working on, I often think to myself, why is it not as easy as it was with my last book, or why is the writing not flowing in terms of my writing process as much as it did on the last book, not realizing that every book is different and that in the end I'm going to have to judge every book individually instead of trying to say, well, why isn't it the same as that one? Because as writers, we will obviously be at different stages in our life depending on what we're doing, and our psychology will be different. It can vary month to month, year to year. So we need to stop comparing ourselves or even competing with ourselves as writers, because at the end of the day, emotion doesn't determine whether a piece of writing is good or bad. What determines it is the amount of effort and due diligence that we put into it.